Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. This is Fizz Guru here, breaking it down. See, they lied to you about everything. You want to know why they're lying to you? Because they're lying to themselves. Easy answer. Because only when you lie to yourself, you have to lie to somebody else. That should be on one of them quotes. All your life, they got you on a search for something outside of yourself. And the biggest search isn't even a search at this point because it's inside of you. You have to look inside of you because that's where everything comes from. That's where everything generates. You can reach different dimensions inside of you. This body is contained in its own earthly realm, so to speak, matrix. There's energy and things happening that we can't see. And this is in a different frequency. What you really are is God. And for all the naysayers, you're at least a part of Him, fabricated by Him. And they always want you searching on the outside, looking for this God. They tell you stories and stories. I'm sick of the stories, sick of the same stories. The same stories are just getting repeated and repeated by the same people saying it the same way over and over and over. Everything runs in a cycle anyway. God doesn't, though. And you have to be a part of Him because that's just how it coexists. You cannot not be a part of Him. That's the greatest lie. There can be nothing greater than that. Because people are always searching for something outside of them. Like you're always searching for that nostalgia experience. It almost is nostalgia because your brain can only think from knowledge that that it's built upon. It's just an accumulation of memory. That's why people, they get stuck in their head. Oh, the party's going to be like this. They may be right, but you'll never know till you go. That party could be completely different once you're there. This person's going to act like this. That could be very true. That person could be still acting the same way. But the person could also change his whole life around. Your mind likes to think on accumulated information. When you step out of you're out of your mind, you could even say will, the God power, you'll see this. And so people are always searching outside of them for this thing that's not outside of them. Whatever memory it is, whatever feeling it is, it's always, even after drugs, after maybe a chemical love from a mate, it's going to go back to this energy. It always goes back there. You can raise its energy and you can deplete it. More so, you can be more in tune with it, basically. And so, a lot of people are out of tune, already, and then their energy is going down. Because the energy only goes in two ways, up or down, basically. There is also neutral. But for the most part, it's going one or two ways. And again, people are just so obsessed with things on the outside. It's all right if they're adolescents, but you'll see that it goes way beyond that. They're always searching, always searching. And the greatest lie is that who we really are, what these answers to these questions are all inside of us. They're pre-built already inside of us. They were answered before they came in the question. That should be another quote. Because when everything was made, there had to be something behind it. You know what I mean? There already had to be an answer. So all the questions are redundant in their own way and get brought up again and again. Though that's going to happen anyway. Most people think for themselves, but they don't understand all of life is around you. Everything. Ecosystem, bugs, even the elements, water, fire, earth. The reason you hear about these because they're alive. They're not necessarily dead. The wind is actually alive. It's just a current of energy. And it is alive. You can go research it more if you want. But it's actually alive. Like, it doesn't even seem like that. But it very is. It very well is. It kind of has to. Because it's what makes everything alive. Everything comes out of clay, which is earth. Water, which is that, fluid. Air is air. There's fire, which burns things and gives power, creativeness. There's also the ether, which ether holds everything together. And it's not necessarily seeable. It is to some degree, but definitely not explainable. So we went real deep into this one. Just don't get caught up in them lies. Because at last, it's inside of you. The greatest lie would tell somebody they have to go on a search for something. Which would be a joke. But then they would realize, oh, it's inside of me. Everything is happening inside of me. My thoughts happening inside of me. How I feel inside of me. Emotions. Emotions, thoughts, and thinking, the thought process are actually all the same process. They're all the same. There is something beyond that, which some call it intelligence. It would be spirit or that energy. Just pure energy. And that's what everything comes from at the end of the day. So even if you searched on the outside of you, even if you did some certain exercises, you would always, always, always come back to the center of you. Because that's where you're at right now. And like, I'll say one thing just to make this fun. Those fantasy stuff and sci-fi stuff, all that stuff is very real. Very real. They have to call it sci-fi to mess with you, such as like time travel, vampires, Bigfoot, dinosaurs, or very tall people. It's all there, but it's not your true self. A lot of hidden lies, but the greatest one, again, would be that you are him. You literally are him, the thing that you're searching for. People are going to go through, because they don't know this, and they go through so much turmoil, their whole life becomes obsession with something outside. And that's why they suffer, because our true nature is inside. And once you realize this, you advance to different dimensions, which ultimately is the end of the dimension once you realize this. Sorry for the shaky camera. But have a nice one. Make sure you subscribe to the channel.